Hi, my name is Doug Burlon. I've been a member of Marymount Players since 1980, and it is my honor to talk to a good friend of mine, Diana Rogers, who I met in 1981 doing Brigadoon for Marymount Players. Welcome, Diana. We're so glad that you joined us today.
Thank you. I am so glad to say hi to all of the MPI people.
So,
Tom and Nancy and Story.
yeah, absolutely, and they're still doing everything around the theater. It's fantastic. So talk a little bit about your early experiences around MPI, maybe local community theater in Cincinnati, and your experiences there a little bit.
Well, I have to give the shout out to Tom Story because he gave me actually my first lead, and it was in a play called All Over Town, I think it was, and Josephine Keenan was in it too, by the way.
Wow.
And so, and it was so great to have somebody believe in you.
Yeah.
And give you the lead. And then it kind of, after there, I just started like doing theater wherever I could. And
but you then went on from Us Low Lives in Community Theater. You went on to really amazing things. And one of my favorite memories is I got to see you. My first time to New York was seeing you as Madame T in Les Mis on Broadway, and you brought me up on stage after all that. So talk a little bit about Broadway, your Broadway experience and your touring experience, because I know for you, those were kind of different experiences.
Performing on Broadway was wonderful. The crowds are wonderful, seeing your picture outside the theater and all that. It was really great, but it's really hard when you've got your dogs and your horses and your family at home. But it's very different when you leave the warm embrace of community theater. I cherish my moments of doing the theater at Marymount, especially the haunted theater. I produced, no, I'm not lying. I produced Whose Life Is It Anyway? And I was working with Doug's mom. I loved her, Sonia. And she brought me into doing the technical. And we were down there at night painting the stage black at like 1 o'clock. And it was really scary. And I had brought a TV, and the kids had plugged the TV in, and the TV came in upside down, the picture. So they started screaming. So the guy who was with us came over and was like trying to calm them down. He was like, "Oh, you silly kids, you put the cord in upside down." So he unplugged it, turned the cord, put it in, the picture came on and came in upside down. And I go, "We're done for the night. We are done for the night." Yeah, but I loved it. I loved, your mom and I got to work on Joseph. We made the goat that everybody told about. And then we had to make all of the Pharaoh collars, which I love doing tech. And we actually took giant lima beans and painted them colors and then hot glued them. It was a hoot. I loved it. So
talk about Broadway though versus touring companies. How did that work, and what was better or worse on those?
Broadway is very much a job. You come in, you do your job, and you go home. And the difference between Broadway and touring is when everybody's out on the road, nobody's there with their family. So you're able to forge really strong, and the company becomes your family. And you're able to form very strong friendships, and you get more money, which I love. I'm going to be honest. Not only do you get a paycheck, but then you get a per diem. And if you're cheap like me, you share your room with somebody else, so you get to keep most of it. And it becomes like a giant vacation because you get X amount of days off. So I loved Colorado because every time we went into Colorado, I would try to go in early, and then I'd go horseback riding in Estes Park the next day, which I loved.
Yeah.
And if you go up to Seattle, we got to go see the whales. So it was like a giant vacation across the country. It can be lonely and hard because your family's not with you, but then again, they can fly out and join you. Broadway becomes a different kettle of fish because you only get 1 day off a week. So you cannot fly home to see your family. It becomes impossible. You can't get home and get on the plane, because then what happens if you can't get back? And also in New York, it is a job. And so everybody comes in, they do the job, poof, they're gone.
So talk about the transition that you made over performing to writing. I mean, writing is a totally different skill, but how did you kind of transition?
It really is. Well, when I came down to Florida, I came down to help my mom. My dad had dementia. So I came down to help her. And believe it or not, there really isn't a lot of professional theater in Florida. It's basically the Mouse, Universal and Disney. They have that. And then there is theater, but not a lot of theater, and especially not a lot of like union theater. And so I took a teaching job where I taught musical theater. Thank God I didn't have to do English or anything. So I taught drama and musical theater. And usually when I was driving is when the lyrics and the tune would come to me. And I would grab my phone at that time and I would call somebody and I was like, don't answer. I have to leave this on your message and then you send it back to me later. And then that's how, and seriously, and that's how I kind of wrote the first one. And it was ISS, In School Suspension. It's kind of a cross between The Breakfast Club and Grease. And it went over great, and it got produced at Ruth Eckerd Hall. And so I was like, wow, okay. And I collaborated with this guy who was really great. So I would write the melody line, and then he would do the accompaniment for me. And so then I was hired the next year to go back in, and I wrote the one that your song is from, and it's more for middle schoolers. It's from Lessons from a Wayside Campground, and I had the best time writing that.
Yeah, and so we're going to hear Amy sing that. So what?
You're going to hear Amy sing that.
Who am I? So what? How does that fit into the show? How does that all come together?
Well, the show takes place at a campground in near the Grand Canyon, and thank God for touring. So now I had all the background story for that. And so the adults aren't there, but we see 5 different groups of kids. And they all come with their parents, and we get to meet them in there. And the one girl where the song comes from, it can be a girl or guy, who sings the song, Who Am I? Her mother moved away, and she had Indian heritage, and her mother sent her back for the summer to kind of discover her roots and find out who she is. And she was embarrassed about who she is and didn't want to embrace that side of her heritage. And so through the show, it teaches the kids with the lessons that they learn to embrace your heritage, embrace your past, and it will help you move to the future.
That's fantastic. Well, I can't wait to hear it. So let's give it a listen to Amy.
All right.
Before I say goodbye, Diana, it's unbelievable to see you. We missed you so much here in Cincinnati.
I missed you guys.
We wish you all the best. We can't wait to hear Amy sing your song.
Who am I? What am I meant to be? I've got to escape from this place. It's not my destiny. Who am I? Why is it I don't know? The past cannot hold me. It's not where I want to go. I'm not that girl from long ago. My past has changed, that much I know. I don't need roots to embarrass me. I deny my past and my family tree. Who am I? No, I don't need a past. A culture so ancient, it didn't even last. Future's clear, it's where I wanna be. I'll find who I am on my own. Don't need any help to be shown. I'll make it my own.